So here we are, this is December, 29th of December 2017, and here I am talking from my brand new van, an Iveco Daily 2008, and signed all the paperwork. I've just sorted out all of the insurance, and I'm about to just get off on the road and put in some diesel, and see how we go. Cheers. So hello my YouTube lovelies, and welcome once again to another episode in my van build series. This is episode 4, White Van Man, and this one is an introduction to the van that I bought that's sat behind my shoulder there in the background. Previous episode I talked about the research and the reasoning behind me going for this particular one. And so, having secured a loan in order to buy various bits and pieces, I hunted high and low until I found Neo, the guy behind me. Excuse me for looking like some kind of assassin, by the way, because I'm in the workshop and the shutter door is open and it is freezing outside, so hence me looking like some chav on a corner. Anyway, yeah, Neo, the van behind me, an Iveco Daily 2008. He's the long wheelbase version, and I bought him from a guy in Sheffield, and I bought it back in, when is it, December 2017. I took a trip over to Sheffield. There was snow on the ground. Went over with my cash and pretty much knew, having spoken to the guy on the phone and seen photos, etc., that I was going to be going away with this van. It had reasonably low mileage. It was actually 89,000, which for an Iveco Daily is really, really good. I went along, had a look, and it was fine. You know, a couple of little bits and pieces here, minor little bits and bobs. But through what I saw, I just went for it. You know, sometimes in hindsight, probably some people would say, well, you know, you should have sort of checked a bit more or what have not. To be honest with you, I don't know a huge amount about vehicles. I've driven God knows how many vehicles over my life. And, you know, I sort of had as good a look around it as possible, as good a look underneath it, bearing in mind there was snow all over the ground. But at the end of the day, it's a van, you know. I was going to do as much as what I could do with this fella behind me. So he actually, now looking at the old book here, if you want to be precise, is the Iveco Daily 2.3 TD 35S12. That's what's written on the side of the door, I think. Design is Giugiaro, or Giugiaro. I think it's Giugiaro, something like that. Yeah, it's 2008, 2-axle rigid body, 3,500 kg gross. Tax class is light goods vehicle, heavy oil, diesel. Cylinder capacity is 2287 cc. So those are all the details for him. And when I actually bought it, he had 91,000 miles on the clock. So not the 89 that was previously published, but hey, it doesn't matter. In terms of what he'd done previous to me, I think he started out as a hire vehicle at one point, and then in latter life, prior to me getting him, he was a van that basically just did the run to the cash and carry, so it wasn't used that often. He weren't too bad, to be honest with you. You know, a few rust spots here and there. Needed just a little bit of TLC. The back of the van was fairly well used and stuff like that. But then, you know, you expect these things from a hire van or a van that's used to hump goods around left, right and centre. Having him now, it gave me an opportunity to now really start to plan and see whether the initial layout that I spoke about in the previous video, whether it was actually going to work. So at this stage I'm able to get some serious measurements. Now's quite a good time to actually measure him, because he's got all of the panelling and all of the wood that he would come with. I'm saying he, by the way, but it's whatever van you have would come with the manufactured panelling, or the panelling that's put in by the first company that owns it, whether it be a hire company or a leasing company or what have not. So it will come fitted out with all of the factory fitted timber. So at this stage it's actually quite a good one to measure. However, word of warning is that obviously the panelling that's in the back of the van is probably going to be slightly more, packed out by the time you've done your insulation and everything. So there may be a few centimetres difference here and there, but it gives you a real good idea as to what dimensions you've actually got. So as he stood from when I first bought him, he was 4 meters 50 from the bulkhead to the back door, and he was 1 meter 74 centimeters across the width, and his height was 1 meter 90. Now the interesting thing is that when I was doing my research and everything, I didn't realise, now he is the what model is he? I want to go with, he is the 4th generation of Iveco dailies. The one that a lot of people kind of nickname them the teardrop front with the headlights. And I didn't realise until sometime having bought him, I was walking down a particular road near work, and I saw a van exactly the same as Neo, and I thought to myself, oh hello, he looks, hang on a minute, he looks bigger. And I was like, I couldn't work it out, and I was thinking, how is that van bigger than mine? And then I clocked that it had a slightly higher roof. So there is a high top version of this. Luke from Luke's Van Life, he has the high top version, and I didn't know at the time. I bought this version, and with the 190 in the back. Now I'm 6'2", or in modern money that's 1 meter 89, so it's close. But to be honest with you, I'm glad I went with this and not the high top. As much as the high top has just that little bit more room in which obviously you can stand up in and have that freedom of not being able to, not bashing your head, etc. There is the you then also have that little bit more height to play with at the back, or if you're putting in cupboards, etc. But I kind of like the finish of the body with the slightly lower roof, to be honest with you. I think it looks, I don't know, when you look at, I don't know, I'm an aviation geek, okay, and if you look at something like the Airbus A350, it looks stunning compared to something like the Boeing 737 or whatever. You know, there's a choice of models with regards to, there's something that looks right about a particular body, and for me, the body on the sort of this roof that I've got, this sort of the normal high roof, but not the absolute proper high roof. I don't know, I kind of like it. So, you know, I'm glad I got this version. Anyway, I'm now at a stage where I've obviously got all the dimensions, etc. I can be quite detailed with my drawings from this point. And I start to do some more research. I start to look at vlogs, people that actually drive this van. I mentioned earlier Luke's van life. He was an inspiration by looking at his videos because he had the same van. Ash Pollard was another one who drives. He's got the 3rd generation Iveco Daily. Those two were the only 2 people at the time on YouTube that I could find that actually drove this vehicle and actually kitted it out as a motorhome. So there was slim pickings, and having met the 2 guys, who are amazing guys by the way, they have got a very different look to what I've got in the back there, and it's amazing what you can do with the same space but come up with completely different ideas. So this is quite a short video. I'm going to end it here. So this is all about you know, introducing you to my van. Why is he called Neo, I hear you ask? Well, I'm sort of one of these guys that will look for a tenuous link wherever possible. His registration is NX, so N for Neo, X, I can take that out of the matrix. You know, the whole red pill, blue pill, red pill in motion, etc. is all derived from me taking a red pill out of the matrix. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. Cheers.